You know what needs doing. It's not a lack of knowledge or skill. Something's holding you back, though. Days blur into weeks, tasks pile up, leaving you with the bitter taste of inaction. What if it's not laziness? What if it's something deeper? A hidden mental roadblock sabotaging you under the guise of being tired. I'm going to show you what's stopping you from taking action and how to overcome it without needing extra motivation or energy. It just takes a decision. Because if you don't learn to act even when you don't feel like it, you'll continue to be held captive by the single most powerful force preventing your success, your own mind. The pressure to project an image of effortless success, the smiling, productive, always-on persona, can be a dangerous game. Everyone sees you thriving, a pillar of strength at work and home, but inside, you're burning out. That thought of control is a trap, convincing you everything's fine when deep down, you know it's not. The truth is, appearing strong is wildly different from actually being strong. It's a performance, a constant act, and that daily show drains your mental energy, leaving you depleted and disconnected. Being the reliable one, the one who never complains, can feel like an honor, but it can also be a prison. While you're carrying the world, who's got your back? Pretending to be okay only delays the inevitable crash, and the longer you wait, the harder the fall. It's time to stop using productivity as a shield against what you really need to face, your own exhaustion. You might be delivering results, but if you're mentally checked out, just going through the motions, it's not truly living. Take 30 seconds right now. Whisper to yourself, this isn't about looking good, it's about getting better. Repeat it until something shifts, and it will. This small act of self-honesty can be the turning point. Ditch the performance, embrace the truth, and begin your recovery. The relentless pursuit of the perfect online persona is expensive, not just financially, but in a far more insidious way. We're trapped, not by our schedules, but by our screens. This digital prison is built on comparison, a subtle thief that steals our joy with every swipe and scroll. One moment you're casually browsing, the next you're caught in a vortex of meticulously curated lives, the highlight reels of others' triumphs. Suddenly, self-doubt creeps in. A quiet, insidious voice whispering, why aren't I there yet? What starts as idle curiosity quickly morphs into a crushing sense of inadequacy. Information becomes frustration, and motivation evaporates, not because of any real failure, but because we're so busy focusing on everyone else's journey that we forget our own path. Neuroscience confirms this. Constant exposure to others' success leads to paralysis. Your brain, bombarded by images of external progress, labels your own reality as deficient. Your internal compass spins wildly, rendering everything you achieve feel insignificant, leaving you stuck in inaction. Try a 24-hour comparison detox. Log off. Silence the external noise. Instead, focus inward. Jot down 3 times you overcame seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Just 3. Raw, unfiltered, uncompared. Pure, unadulterated you. Endless comparison is a massive energy drain, a silent saboteur. You think you're staying informed, but you're eroding your own self-worth. Disconnecting from the curated lives of others is often the only way to reconnect with the person you're striving to become. Forget the myth that you need to feel like doing something before you actually do it. That's a recipe for procrastination, a guaranteed path to nowhere. Motivation is a luxury, not a requirement. It's fickle, fleeting, and frankly unreliable. Waiting for the perfect feeling is a surefire way to waste years. Real progress comes from making a decision and sticking to it, regardless of how you're feeling. Discipline, not motivation, is the true key to freedom. As Seneca put it, true strength comes from within, not external validation. Relying on outside forces to push you forward builds a flimsy foundation. Instead, create a rock-solid, minimal system, a tiny, unbreakable habit. It's invisible to others, but it's the cornerstone of your success. Commit to just 3 minutes a day. That's it. 3. Even when you're tired, even when you'd rather binge watch Netflix. Read, write, exercise, it doesn't matter what it is. Just do something. Consistency trumps intensity every time. Each time you follow through, you send a powerful message to your brain. I do what I say I'll do. Period. That period marks a profound shift. Quiet, consistent action shapes your identity. It blossoms in the absence of desire, applause, or even acknowledgement. It transforms internal chaos into focused purpose. It's not about wanting it. It's about knowing you need it. You're not broken, lost, or weak. You're just bone-tired, drained by an invisible burden, a weight you carry alone in silence. Days blur into a performance, a carefully constructed facade of focus and control, while inside, your soul screams for a reprieve. Then comes the breaking point, that moment your mind whispers, enough, and you mistake it for failure. It's not. Sometimes what feels like surrender is actually a call for rebuilding. A chance to shed excess, to finally say no to the relentless demands you've internalized. As Viktor Frankl pointed out, suffering without purpose is soul-crushing. It's not the pain itself that destroys, but the meaninglessness of it. Enduring relentlessly without direction isn't strength. It's self-destruction, a slow, agonizing crawl, not a life. So, recalibrate. Don't confuse a pause with defeat, exhaustion with weakness. Sometimes stopping isn't giving up. It's catching your breath, reassessing the load, and discarding the baggage that serves no purpose. Next time you feel yourself teetering on the brink, take a moment. Step away from the noise and ask yourself, honestly and without judgment, what am I clinging to out of fear of disappointing others? Don't rush the answer. Let the question settle. The truth won't come in a flash, but when your mind finally realizes you're truly listening. Let's face it, we all carry around emotional baggage. Some of it's easy to toss, the obvious burdens, the stuff we consciously decide to let go of. But there's a heavier load, a different kind of weight that many of us cling to out of sheer fear. We stuff down our feelings, silence the tears, bury the hurt before it disrupts our carefully constructed day. It might look like strength, this suppression, but it's actually a silent, self-imposed prison. Unexpressed pain doesn't just vanish. It festers. The more you pretend you're fine, the more your body learns that feeling is dangerous, and it shuts down to protect itself. Neuroscience backs this up. Bottled up emotions profoundly affect your behavior, conditioning your brain to associate suffering with inaction. You end up living in a perpetual state of waiting for things to magically improve, for some outside force to solve what's fundamentally an internal struggle. But the truth is, pain only releases its grip when you stop avoiding it. You don't need to turn everything into a full-blown crisis. Just acknowledge what you're feeling, name it. Giving your emotions a voice takes away their power. Clarity allows for release. Pick a calm day, maybe a weekend, and do a little emotional inventory. No need for journaling. Just close your eyes, breathe deeply, and gently ask yourself, what emotion am I holding on to without admitting it? Observe without judgment, without trying to fix it. Just feel. And if you're ready to let go, whisper, I release this. It sounds simple, and it is. But the irony is, Most of us are trapped not by a lack of strength, but by an excess of self-control. You've learned to identify pain, let go of burdens, and break free from what held you back. But there's a hidden trap that can undo it all, relying on rescue. That's what we're tackling today. Seeking support isn't weakness, it's human. The problem starts when you make it a prerequisite for action. Because when your actions hinge on others, you surrender your power. The harsh truth. The person who pulls you out once might, unintentionally keep you tethered forever. We grow up expecting empathy, attention, a helping hand. But life's not. A support group. Most of the time, nobody will see your struggle. Nobody will feel your pain. And that's okay, because it's not their job. It's yours. Self-reliance isn't about isolation. It's about autonomy. It's knowing that if help arrives, great. But if it doesn't, you keep moving forward. Not out of pride, but because you know. Your only constant companion in this battle is yourself. That inner certainty, once deeply ingrained, becomes an unstoppable force. Not immediate, but invincible. To build this resilience, next time you feel the urge to vent, seek validation, or crave understanding, pause. Don't suppress the emotion, just delay the impulse. Ask yourself, if nobody can help me right now, what can I do? This question, repeated at crucial moments, builds an emotional independence that protects, strengthens, and ultimately liberates you. You've made it this far, proving that your inner strength, not external validation, is your true engine. Think of Henry Ford, a titan of industry, a man who faced doubt, ridicule, and crushing loneliness. Yet he persevered, not by luck, but by stubbornly clinging to his vision even when the world seemed to be collapsing around him. As he famously said, obstacles are merely what you see when you take your eyes off the goal. This isn't just inspirational fluff. It's strategic. In moments of chaos, our minds scatter, fixating on shortcomings, failures, and what's missing, blinding us to what we can still create. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't try to tackle everything at once. Instead, set one small, emotionally driven goal, not a financial one, for the next month. It doesn't need to be monumental, just authentically yours. Something to anchor your mind while the external world sorts itself out. This is the power of the micro-vision. This guiding star will keep you on track, even when the path gets bumpy. With a clear internal target, external setbacks become mere speed bumps. Proceed one step at a time, focused, deliberate, and quiet. Noise doesn't dictate your direction. Vision does. To make this happen, carve out a morning or evening just for you in the coming days. Silence your notifications. It's just you and one question. How do I want to feel in 30 days, regardless of what happens around me? Hold on to that answer. Write it down, record it, but most importantly, remember it. Because remembering will help you resist distractions, and resisting distractions will propel you forward. Life's not going to hand you anything. It's a relentless, unyielding current, and waiting for the perfect moment is a recipe for stagnation. Forget hoping for easier times. That's a fool's errand. The truth, though harsh, is liberating. Embrace the chaos. This isn't cruelty. It's an invitation to step up. Once you accept life's unchangeable nature, you stop bargaining with fate and start building your own destiny. That's the turning point. Responsibility is daunting, yes, but it's also empowering. It forges a new kind of strength, not the fleeting, emotional kind, but a stoic resilience born from rational action. As Marcus Aurelius, emperor and philosopher, wisely put it, You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is self-mastery. This is freedom. While the world waits for the perfect conditions, you act on principle. Unwavering principles, impervious to mood swings, external chaos, or even the weather. Start your Stoic practice with 3 simple steps. Begin each day by asking, what's within my control today? Then spend the day acting on that answer. Finally, before bed, reflect calmly on how you handled the uncontrollable. No self-recrimination, just adjustment. This daily cycle transforms reactivity into proactivity. Challenges won't vanish, but you'll be sharper, clearer-headed, and ultimately stronger than any obstacle life throws your way. It's time for a brutally honest reckoning. You might have blamed external factors, lack of time, exhaustion, insufficient support for your struggles. But it's time to confront an uncomfortable truth. Often, the biggest obstacle is you. You're self-sabotaging. This isn't stupidity or weakness. It's usually a defense mechanism. Your subconscious mind throws up roadblocks, procrastination, excuses, distractions to keep you safe, even if that safety means staying stuck. Growth hurts, and your brain prefers the familiar comfort of the status quo to the discomfort of change. The catch? This protection becomes a cage, and you don't even realize you're building it. As Jung said, what you resist persists. The more you ignore this self-destructive behavior, the stronger it gets, craving attention. It's not trying to defeat you. It's revealing a deep-seated fear of transformation. Face this fear with clarity, courage, and brutal honesty. The practical solution? When you catch yourself putting things off, dodging tasks, or making excuses, stop. Don't beat yourself up. Just stop. Then, engage in some serious soul-searching. Ask yourself, what am I truly afraid of right now? What emotion am I avoiding? What am I losing by inaction? What am I gaining by staying paralyzed? Who would I be if I stopped sabotaging myself? You don't need answers immediately, just the courage to ask the questions. Bringing these buried feelings to light will weaken the self-sabotage. In its place, a new structure emerges, conscious action even in the face of fear. Have you ever pushed through obstacles, overcome setbacks, even acted despite a complete lack of motivation? But what about when the pain lingers, refuses to budge, to lessen its grip? That's where many give up. Yet, Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the Nazi concentration camps, discovered something profound. Pain isn't just a burden. It's a compass, a guide. Frankl posited that pain points to what still holds value within you. He lost everything: family, freedom, dignity. But he didn't lose his ability to choose the meaning of his suffering. That choice, that construction of meaning, is what kept him alive when all signs pointed to defeat. How does this relate to you? Completely. Because your current pain might be revealing something that needs your attention, a neglected value, a buried truth, a part of yourself crying out for rescue. And if you dare to listen, you'll find within it a direction no external goal could ever offer. The next time emotional pain hits a difficult conversation, a crushing disappointment, a haunting memory, stop. Don't run. Ask yourself coldly and clinically, what is this pain trying to show me about myself? It might unveil your core values. What needs healing? What needs changing? By deciphering this message, you'll realize the pain wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a powerful personal rebuilding. When burnout hits, it can creep up on you subtly, a persistent fatigue that drains your energy. Or it can explode, a silent implosion that leaves you paralyzed, questioning everything. In those moments, sheer willpower is useless. What you need is a lifeline, something to ground you in the present, to reconnect you with what's still possible. A simple yet surprisingly effective technique: body, environment, intention. 3 steps to pull you back from the brink. It won't magically solve all your problems, but it will stop the freefall. And often, that's enough. Start with your body. Make an immediate physical change. Stand up, stretch, shift your position, drink some water. Break the mental cycle. Send a signal to your brain that you're in charge. Next, observe your surroundings. Find 3 objects, 3 sounds, 3 textures. Focus on the tangible world, silencing the internal noise, anchoring your perception in the here and now. Finally, intention. Ask yourself clearly, what is within my control right now? Not the day, not the week, just this moment. Choose one tiny action, something concrete, achievable, and do it. Even without enthusiasm, even without clarity. This small act is a beacon in the fog. You don't have to conquer the entire crisis, just prevent it from swallowing you whole. By learning to consciously ground yourself, you realize that chaos may come, but you get to choose whether you drown or swim back to the surface. Have you ever noticed how, when you're hurting, the need for someone to get it becomes almost overwhelming? It's like a part of you cries out for validation, desperate for a witness to your pain, a confirmation that it's real. It seems harmless enough, but here's the harsh truth. Seeking validation in the midst of suffering can become a full-blown emotional addiction, a sneaky, insidious thing. You vent, you confess, you pour your heart out. You receive empathy, attention, a fleeting moment of relief. Your brain quickly learns. Sharing my pain pays off. Before you know it, you're trapped in a cycle. Pain, exposure, approval, temporary. Relief. But that relief is a mirage. It doesn't heal. It just postpones the inevitable. When your pain becomes the price of admission to being seen, you don't recover, you settle. Real recovery begins when you break free from that external gaze. When you decide your pain doesn't need an audience, it needs transformation. This takes a different kind of courage, the courage to face your own darkness without needing anyone's approval. The next time you feel that urge to share your pain in hopes of comfort, stop. Change course. Sit with it alone for a few minutes. Breathe deeply and whisper, I acknowledge this. And that's enough. It might seem small, but this simple act breaks the emotional dependence. By validating yourself, you reclaim the power over your healing journey, stripping the outside world of its ability to dictate your pace. After clearing the mental clutter, facing the hard truths, and ditching the need for external validation, you're ready to rebuild. But this isn't some haphazard project. It requires a blueprint. Trying to reconstruct your mind without a plan is like building a skyscraper on quicksand. The first step is quiet self-awareness, starting with an unwavering commitment to honesty. Stop the self-deception, the pretending everything's fine charade, the I don't have time excuse masking. Your fear. This isn't about public confession. It's about facing your truth, and that clarity is the bedrock of your recovery. Next, embrace the power of tiny, consistent actions. The size of the task doesn't matter. It's the daily discipline that counts. Even without a clear path, movement creates momentum. Your mind doesn't need to grasp the whole picture. It just needs to see you're back in the driver's seat. Start small. Wake up on time. Wash your face. Squeeze in a quick workout. Read a page. Act like the person you're becoming, even if you don't feel it yet. Finally, Claim your new identity, not for an audience, but for yourself. Whisper it to your soul. I am becoming someone new. This isn't magic. It's the logical outcome of consistent effort. Every action taken without forcing it, every discomfort overcome, every day conquered in quiet strength is a brick in the foundation of this new you. Right now, take 15 uninterrupted minutes and write this. Who am I becoming by facing? What I'm overcoming. Let the answer flow. It doesn't need to be perfect, just genuine. Because it's this inner truth, not outward appearances, that will sustain your comeback. You're already on the toughest path, forging ahead without guarantees. You're reinventing yourself from the inside out, navigating uncharted territory. Maybe what bothers you is the lack of fanfare, the absence of applause, the quiet anonymity. But that's precisely where the magic lies. The strongest versions of ourselves are often born in the shadows. The mistake is thinking transformation needs a spotlight, that genuine change requires external validation. It's the opposite, the deepest. Shifts happen silently, without a drum roll, without approval, fueled only by focus, consistency, and unwavering purpose. As James Clear wisely said, every action is a vote for the kind of person you wish to become. It's deceptively simple, yet powerfully true. Each small, unseen action, each private choice, subtly sculpts a new identity, and the most potent. Part, outwardly, you might appear unchanged, but internally, you know you've been reborn. Pick 3 words that will define your future. 3. Not vague aspirations, but potent mental commands. Think strength, clarity, balance. Write them down. Memorize them. Let them be your compass. Before any decision, ask, does this align with my new identity? If not, discard it. If yes, proceed. This creates coherence. Coherence breeds confidence. You don't need an outward metamorphosis. You need to rebuild your internal foundation. This silent transformation builds an invisible strength, imperceptible to others, yet profoundly felt within. You've battled exhaustion, stifled the crushing weight of comparison, wrestled with inertia, faced down fear, endured pain, fought the insidious self-sabotage, conquered loneliness, and painstakingly rebuilt yourself. All that struggle, that relentless pushing, brought you here, to this moment of clarity, where you realize you can no longer carry the burden of your past self. And here's the liberating truth. Quitting isn't always failure. Sometimes it's the bravest, most honest act you can perform. It's letting go of the impossible ideal of being everything to everyone. It's shedding the pressure to maintain an image that no longer reflects who you are. It's releasing the persona that helped you survive, but is now preventing you from truly living. That past identity served its purpose. It got you this far. But now it's an anchor, holding you back. What got you here won't get you where you need to go. It's time to break free. Do it with grace, with respect for the journey, but also with unwavering resolve. Write a symbolic farewell letter, not to anyone else, but to yourself. Acknowledge your past self, its contributions. Offer gratitude if you feel it, and then declare its end. Burn it, shred it, or make it a personal ritual. The mind needs concrete symbols to process finality. It's over, then write. Just one sentence. Today, I begin building anew, because, in truth, you already have. Every step, every challenge, every victory, they've all been bricks. You have a foundation, you have a structure, and most importantly, you have clarity. Now build. You made it. And that's huge, because anyone who's persevered this far isn't just looking for inspiration, They're ready to completely reinvent themselves. Ready to rebuild, no holds barred. Ready to act even when they're bone tired. Ready to become someone who doesn't need willpower to do what needs doing. Get this, real strength isn't flashy. It doesn't crave applause. It doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It shows up in the everyday grind, in the quiet actions, in the silence. It's forged when you get up without wanting to, act without enthusiasm, and repeat without an audience. And that's precisely what makes you unstoppable. You don't need to feel it to do it. You need to decide. And every time you decide, your mind learns a new command. I do this because I chose to, not because I want to. That's where discipline starts shaping your identity, and your identity defines your destiny. So, before you go, share this with anyone starting over who's still waiting for the perfect motivation. Show them that acting without wanting to is possible, and that's what separates builders from dreamers. Want to dig deeper? Check out 15 brutal truths that leave you no choice but to win. It's tough love, but it's liberating. Uncomfortable lessons that force you to grow. Because when you accept that there's no other option but to win, every challenge becomes a strategy, every setback a foundation, and every silent decision brings you closer to your strongest self. You don't need more strength. You just need to keep going, quietly, but with purpose. See you at the next level.